This is the ICSE Physics Examination Sample Question Paper for 2023. It was released some months ago, but just now we are looking forward to the physics examination on 17th. So, how do we take the sample paper to prepare ourselves for the ICSE actual board paper? When you get the paper in hand, what should be your thought process? That is what I'm going to discuss in this video. So to begin with, you know that your section A is of 40 marks and we have to attempt all questions. So quickly skim through this, all right? Directly come to section B. Where is our section B? Here it is. Now in this we will have from question 4 to question 9. There are 6 questions out of which we have to attempt any 4. So 2 questions we have to discard. We have to make sure that we are attempting only the questions which will give us full marks. Now look at our question number 4. We know this with angle of deviation and angle of incidence. We know that angle of deviation, minimum deviation is going to be this. So out here they are telling us that the triangular prism has angle of prism 62 degrees. Angle of minimum deviation is 37 and this becomes angle of incidence. Now minimum deviation means angle of incidence is equal to angle of emergence. So we are going to use A plus delta M is equal to I1 plus I2. So this is doable. Redraw and complete the path of ray till it emerges. This also is your 30, 60, 90 prism. This also is doable. This is fine. Look at the third one. This diagram shows the observer seeing the image of object O, which is seen at I. What is the phenomenon? It is refraction. I know the definition. I learned it. Now state the effect on X. X is the size of the image if Y increases. Y is thickness. Now thickness and the shift, how are they? Directly proportional. So this also is doable. Fine. So question 4 is doable. Let us look at question number 5. Object of height 20 centimeters at a distance 50 centimeters. Virtual diminished image is formed here. So this is the image distance. Now type of lens. Virtual diminished means it's a concave one. Calculate the focal length. If we have learned the formula, the lenses formula, then we can attempt this. This one is looking like a very simple diagram. Only thing is that it's inverted. Now we know that the ray which is deviated the most is going towards the base. So your X will be the one which is deviated the most. So this will be violet, this will be red. Which one has the greater speed in vacuum? None of them. Both will have the same. So that is also good. Now look at this. Okay. We have to name the lens. Now name the lens. Can you see over here the ray parallel to the principal axis is going through the principal focus. So it's a converging lens. So this is the convex lens. And to draw this also is doable. So question 4 and 5, 2 questions down. Let us look at our question 6. Block and tackle system. Copy and redraw the label diagram showing the correct connection of tackle, direction of forces involved to obtain the maximum VR and convenient direction. It's going to be this diagram. You know how to draw the diagram. This is easy enough. Now calculate the mechanical advantage when the efficiency is 80%. So we'll say our efficiency is equal to MA upon VR. So this is doable. Now this one, some of you may feel that this is a little overwhelming. The adjacent diagram shows a wheel of diameter 40 cm fixed on the wall capable of rotating around this center O. The wheel rotates in anti-clockwise direction, which means it's gonna go this way. Calculate the clockwise moment. Now clockwise moment, where are the measures known? This is your 100 GF, and if this is 40 centimeters, from here to here it's going to be 20 centimeters. So this is going to give us clockwise moment, and 100 into 20. So this is doable. Now some of you may get a little confused over here, but no problem. State whether this X is more or less or greater than 100 GF. Maybe this could be a little doubt for you, but you can come back to it. Let us look at the third one, because this is just reading time. Remember that. Coconut of mass this much falls from 80-meter high tree. Calculate the potential energy, mgh. You know how it is to be done. Without calculations, kinetic energy is going to be equal to the initial potential energy. So this is also doable. So the only doubt could be this. So let us see if we can find another question which is easier. Question number 7. A person standing in front of a cliff fires a gun, hears the echo after 3 seconds, and the speed of sound in air is given like so. Calculate the distance of the person from the cliff. This is with V equal to 2D upon T. You can use this formula. Now he moves certain distance from the cliff and fires the gun again, and this time the echo is heard 1.5 seconds later. That means the person has moved away. So 3 seconds plus 1.5 seconds, so 4.5 seconds. You can again use the same formula, calculate the distance. So this is easy. Now radioactivity, a radioactive nucleus A emits alpha particle followed by 2 beta particles. What is the general name? Now this will have to just show a small schematic diagram. This is easy. If the atomic number of Y is 80, then what is the atomic number of X also is doable. This also is easy. Boy tunes a radio channel to a radio station 93.5 megahertz. Name and define the scientific wave phenomenon. You know there is going to be resonance while tuning, and we have to define that. So that is doable because we have learned it by heart throughout our 10th standard. Now what is the frequency? Obviously this is the frequency. Now convert this into SI unit, megahertz. Mega means 10 to the power 6. So this is also doable. So this question 7 seems to be doable. Let's come to question number 8. Now we need only one question so that we can complete our 4 questions, right? What is the meaning? This is a straightforward question. Yes, we can do it. Wire where the fuse is connected is live. State the function of main switch. This also you can do it. It's a direct question. Copy and complete. This reaction also is doable. On the radiation emitted in the above reaction when it is allowed to pass through the electric field. Now this also is quite simple. Alpha particles are positively charged, and so they will be deflected through a small angle to the negative plate. Then the third one, copy the diagram. Now this one is where we will have the current going through this branch and through this branch. Now I know that some of you are not very comfortable with these diagrams, so if you practice this enough, it is quite doable. Question number 9, this is the last question. A metal piece at 120 degrees C is quickly dropped in the calorimeter of mass 80 gram containing 200 grams of water at 30 degrees C. Final temperature attained by the mixture is 40 degrees C. Calculate the thermal capacity, which is M into C. SHC of water is given. SHC of calorimeter is given. Now if you are not comfortable with this, then you can opt out of this. It's 3 marks. This shows the cooling curve. This looks simple enough, so you can attempt it. This also is a very important reason. We have done this, something similar to that during our revisions. 9th question, 3rd subpart. Diagram shows a magnet placed between 2 coils A and B. So we have A and B 2 coils, and the magnet is moved along the axis towards coil B. So when it is like so, the Lenz's law will operate. If you know your Lenz's law well, then you can solve this question. Name the phenomenon. You know it's electromagnetic induction. So fine, you know the law also, Lenz's law. So this is also doable, provided you know this one how to solve properly and this one how to solve properly. So we are just having those 2 which will be major giants. Otherwise the paper seems to be pretty okay. Now once we finish with that, we have to come to section A, and you have to make sure that till your teacher tells you that you can start working, till then you will start working on this in your mind. Now look at our question 1. SI unit of moment. Moment is force into Perpendicular distance, so Newton meter, so find, that's SI unit. Which of the following is correct expression for gain in kinetic energy if initial velocity is not zero? So we know that K is equal to half mv square. So none of these is correct. This is work energy theorem. This is the correct option. Energy conversion when oscillating pendulum moves from mean to extreme, which means from potential energy 0 it will go to potential energy maximum. So mean to this thing, it is kinetic to potential. We come to which of the following nuclear radiations can be stopped by a sheet of paper. Sheet of paper is very thin. Alpha particles will be stopping that because they can penetrate through 3 to 8 centimeters in air anyway. They are the bulkiest particles. Now several spectral colors pass through the glass block from air. Which one of them is correct? Now can you see everywhere they have talked about speed, speed, speed. So now you know that when the ray of light goes from one medium to another, frequency remains the same and velocity will be changing, and we have the speed and velocity, they are directly proportional. Now we know the Vibgyor diagram. Draw the Vibgyor diagram and start it. Now this is what you're doing mentally. Alright, this is your reading time, remember that. Your sixth MCQ, which one of these diagrams of refraction is not correct? Now this is a convex lens and the ray is emerging parallel, which means it should have come from the principal focus. So this one is wrong. Let's check out the others. This one is passing through principal focus. Now any time through the concave lens it will get diverged. It will not get converged, right? So we cannot say that this is wrong. This is also correct. Now for the convex lens, ray is passing through the principal focus, emerges parallel is correct, and for any lens through the optical center the ray goes, it will go undeviated is correct. Seventh one, the characteristic of sound which enables to differentiate between two sounds of different intensity. Now remember, intensity is going to be directly proportional to loudness. Loudness depends upon intensity, so it's not quality, not amplitude, not pitch, but it is loudness. The ratio of wavelength of A is to B. Now wavelength, now they are telling you this is time and this is time. The wavelength, now can you see over here, this is connected with frequency and this is also connected with frequency, the same distance. We'll have to check it out, how much is this distance. Then that will give us the ratio of frequency, and then we will say frequency and wavelength, they are inversely proportional. So a little bit of working will be required. Let's come to the next one because this is still our reading time. Remember, graph of I against V means the slope of this will be conductance, so 1 upon resistance. So A has maximum slope means least resistance. Okay, now which of the correct color code? This is also very simple. Okay, when a conductor carrying current is placed in a magnetic field perpendicular to the direction, the force experienced by Fleming's left hand rule, this is simple. Now latent heat, here we'll have to write the formula and check it out. 13th one, again car radiator, it will be the highest SHC, that will be P. Now here again slows down, which means your ray is going to be in the denser medium, angle of refraction will be lesser. This one is total internal reflection. 15th one and the last MCQ of this paper, the phenomenon of light that causes diamond to glitter is, you know, this is total internal reflection. So we have come to the end of question 1. Now let us look at question number 2. These are compulsory questions. How many pulleys are there in a movable block? Of the block and tackle system, velocity ratio 5, you know it's going to be 3 in the upper and 2 in the lower. So how many in the movable means the lower block, there will be 2. Radioactive nucleus emits beta particle. Does the position of daughter nucleus change in the periodic table? Yes, because atomic number Z will become Z minus 1. So you know how to describe that. So this is, remember, reading time only. So to which electrically charged plate beta particles will deflect? Beta particles have negative charge and they will deflect to the positive plate, and that is what happens when it's passing through the electric field. Now name the force that produces maximum moment about. Now this, it's a diagram based question. Maximum moment, will be when the force multiplied by this perpendicular distance. So this will give you 40 Newton centimeter. This will give you 12 into 2.5. So that will be 25 into 12 is 300. So 30, and this will be 12 to 24. So this one, A, is going to produce maximum moment of force. We'll have to show the working for that. Calculate this moment. Yes, we have to calculate that. State two factors that affect the center of gravity. This was the learning type of question. You have to prepare that. Here also moment of force about wheel O. This also is easy, force into perpendicular distance. Kinetic energy of the moving body is 40 joules. What will be the kinetic energy when the velocity is doubled? This is again simple. Freely suspended pendulum in the air disturbed and left to oscillate. The type of oscillations will be damped. How will we decrease the frequency? Remember the factor that determines the frequency of the pendulum, directly proportional to root of L and inversely proportional to root of G. Then we come to the seventh subpart of question 2. Two copper wires A and B are of same length, present at temperature 30 degrees C. Radius of A is twice the radius of B. Which has the greater resistance? Remember, the radius is more for B, which means it will have more area of cross section. So the factor on which the resistance depends is, remember, the length directly proportional, and then area of cross section, it's inversely proportional. And which one will have greater resistivity? Resistivity is the property of the material. Same length and two copper wires, copper is the same, so they will have the same resistivity. Question number 3 is the last question that we have to quickly look at before our reading time finishes. So let's look at it fast. A lens X can form image on the screen, means it's a real image. Real image means it is going to be convex lens. Is it possible for it to form magnified image? Of course, yes. You know the different positions of the object and images. Is it possible to switch off an appliance by placing the switch in the neutral wire? Switch in the neutral wire will cut off the supply, but the appliance will still be at the positive or higher potential. Is it possible for the current to flow between the neutral and the earth? No, between live and neutral. Two factors that affect strength of electromagnet. Remember, directly proportional to number of turns, directly proportional to the amount of current. And then we have calculate the heat absorbed by 200 grams of ice at 0 degrees C to change to water at 60 degrees C. So ice at 0 becomes water at 0, then it becomes water at 60. So this is very doable. And water background radiations, this again is your learning type of questions, what I call as a ratto type question. So I think this is pretty doable. You should be able to write this in about 1.5 hours, although it is 2-hour paper. So that is how we should plan our reading time when you get the paper in hand for the board examinations. So I'm ending the video over here. All the best for your physics paper. Bye.